know for a lot of people, their lives look like this. They get up in the morning and they go to a job and they tackle the challenges of the day, the chaos, the errands, all the things they have to do. They come back home, have an alcohol injection, get up in the morning and do it all again, right? And at some point, if we're really going to lead lives of significance, you got to ask yourself the question, am I designing a life here? You know, because I think living in our culture today, it's so easy to just go through the motions. You know, to just go through just kind of a numbness where you just kind of live each day and one day follows and they just kind of all blend together and you're making enough to survive and it's okay. But are you designing a life? You know? And that's a question that I challenge myself with quite a bit. You know, what do you want to have? What do you want to become? You know, when you look in the mirror at the end of the day, you know, do you see someone that's living a life of significance, that's making a difference? And I believe this, that you came here today, and I realize in this room there's all races and ages and walks and backgrounds and careers, all different types of people here. But you came, you got in your car, some of you drove many hours to be here, to maybe get a little hope, maybe a little insight. But you value that. You really want to lead a life of significance. And we're going to look at that last piece of the Y formula called momentum. Because if we're going to come to an event like this, the only way we're going to start to build upon something, to take maybe a few tools that we learned today and build upon it, we have to develop momentum. Maybe it's momentum in your business. Maybe it's momentum, just personal momentum in your life that you're just looking to kind of start scooping up some wins and achievements and start building some confidence in where you're going. And I think I borrowed the train from the movie Polar Express. All right, there's our visual. So you see a massive train there. Here's what's remarkable about that is that we could put a block of wood before that train got going and hold it still and keep it stopped with no momentum. But you get that thing up to 75, 80 miles an hour, a 10-foot steel reinforced concrete wall would not hold it back. What's the difference? It's not motivation, right? It's not motive. The train didn't think about getting started. It got started. It got some momentum in its life. So what I'd like to do is ask you 5 questions. Just 5 questions that can help you get on the track of momentum, if you will, and maybe take some things that you learned today, and 5 questions that will determine your sense of certainty, really. That sense of certainty that you're going in the right direction. And here's what I want you to do. In these 5 questions, I want you to give yourself a point if you get yes. If the answer is yes, you give yourself a point. If the answer is no, then you don't get a point. Now, when I end in 5 minutes here, you have 0 points. During the break, we're going to keep all sharp objects away from you. And all that, okay? But anyways, hopefully you get a point, but it's okay if you don't, okay? I think the key here is just honesty. And so here's the first question. If someone woke you up in the middle of the night and asked you your #1 goal that you want to accomplish in the next 2 to 5 years, what would it be? Could you give them a clear answer? So here you are, you're sleeping sound at night. It's, you know, for me that would be 9 in the morning, and you get woken up. Now some of you guys are thinking like, well, who's waking me up? You know, it's a drill sergeant. Okay, that's who's waking you up. All right, so you're getting woken up in the middle of the night. Okay, and then to say that's tonight. You're in a dead sleep. Someone wakes up in the middle of the night. What is the #1 goal you want to accomplish in your life in the next 2 to 5 years? Would you be able to give them an answer? Say absolutely. That's da-da-da-da-da. Okay, how'd y'all do? Okay, you either got a point or a 0. Okay, ready for the second one? Question number 2. Could you tell me the one thing you're most passionate about without having to think about it? Just that one thing. Like, what is one thing you're like, I am most passionate about this? And maybe for some of you, it's raising your children and teaching them the right things as kids. Maybe for you it's, I was just reading Tony Dungy's book last night, and I could see it bubbles over every page in that book. His number one thing he's most passionate about is mentoring young men. That's what is most passionate to him. So without having to think about it, can you just rattle that off? How's your sense of certainty with that? The third question, do you make things happen in your life? Do you make things happen in your life? And, I guess the question is, raise your hand if you're a procrastinator. Okay. That's always funny. I always enjoy people when they do that because they'll, or some of people are like, can I get back to you on that? But, are you procrastinating? I think it's so easy in our culture to procrastinate ideas, but do you make things happen? And I think for you to end that day and look in the mirror and experience a sense of fulfillment in your day, it'll come from you doing something, making something happen. Ready for number 4? Do you honestly feel like you're making progress towards your long-term goals? Okay? Do you honestly feel like you're right now in this season of your life, do you honestly feel like you're making progress to your long-term goals? Now, I know for most people in America, their long-term goal is one word: Friday. Let's face it, again, it's just part of the culture, the society, the age we live in. It's like, thank God it's Friday, I've made it to this point. But I think there's a lot of you, again, who got in your cars and took time out to be around maybe a little bit of a different culture, to be around a group of entrepreneurs and just people in this community that come together and share ideas and want to grow and learn. Are you fulfilled? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled in where you're going in your life? And it doesn't have to be like every day you're experiencing some, sense of huge fulfillment. I mean, if you were, I'd wonder what you're smoking. But I mean, are you fulfilled with the overall direction that your life is moving?